You rednecks get the privilege one more time to see the measuring stick of tag team wrestling. You rednecks get the privilege to see one more time the creme de la creme of the NWA. You rednecks get the privilege one more time to see the NWA North American Tag Team Champions. And that is simply because we are the New South. Now, wait a minute. I couldn't help but be sitting in my dressing room, and I understand, Bill, you gotta make this right. I understand that highly regarded, highly decorated senior NWA official Jimmy Rivers is not gonna get to officiate this all-important match. Okay? So it means the NCW has handpicked their own referee and none other than Wildside Chris Champion. Hell, I thought that guy was dead. I thought he went over the hill and his car broke down on the other side. He couldn't get back. But that's okay. We took care of David Young. We'll take care of Romeo Bliss. And let me tell you something, White Velvet, this ain't Joe Pro Wrestling, boy. This is the NWA. So you come on out here, and proceed to get, and your mother swallows, so shut up. Now, you come on out here and continue to take an NWA ass whooping. Hey, look here. Bill, do me a favor. You see these boys right here? Do me a favor. Put something in their mouth because my zipper's stuck.
And finally, fans, now introducing their opponent. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the special referee for this contest as appointed by the owner of NCW, Steve Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Wildside Chris Champion.
Hey, Bill, you said earlier in the night you had a surprise for me, and David's not here, so I had surprise number one. But now, brother, for you and these two Mizarks, I got a big surprise, and for these pieces of shoes here, right here, right up there, hit it for me.
Here we go, right here at Hardcore Hell 2000. The NCW Master has been led down by Rick Michaels. New South going for a double backdrop, and they're going to power to the outside. Al Getz, all hell is broke loose at Hardcore Hell 2000.
I can't hear myself think. This crowd is going wild. This is the match, one of the matches we've been waiting for. Bad Attitude, Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss against the New South. Special referee, your buddy Chris Champion. We got an NCW banner that's not supposed to be here. This is out of control.
Chris Champion here to restore law and order because that thief in the night, Jimmy Rivers, can't call a match if he had glasses on. And here we go with New South and Bad Attitude. And look at this rollout Bill Behrens at ringside. And yes, he warned me about saying that on the air, but I've said it anyway.
What? He's their manager. He's the leader of the NWA Elite. He's the vice president of the NWA.
He's a mark for Jim Cornette. Let's call it like it is. I mean, come on, he's got a tennis racket at ringside. For God's sake, be original. That's what I tell all my NCW guys. At least be original.
Look, you're just getting carried away here. Bill Behrens has, Jim Cornette's the greatest manager of all time. There's definitely nothing wrong with looking up to someone like that. But we're ready to get it started up in the ring as Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss take on the New South. The Australian heartthrob, Ashley Hudson, in the ring, and his partner on the apron, Hot Chocolate, Kory Williams.
Let me say this too, Al. This match right here is worth the price of admission, but we got coming up after this in the main event in a 10-foot high steel cage match. Your man, Scotty Ring, going to take on JC Daz, and you won't be running this time.
And not only is it a steel cage match, but chairs and tables are legal. But now remember, a few months ago, in a non-title match here on Wildside, Bad Attitude beat the New South. So they hold one victory over the New South. I'm sorry, that was a time limit draw. My mistake, that match went to a time limit draw, but they've proven that they can hold their own with the New South. But we'll see if the makeshift team of Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss can get the job done.
Al, you're getting a little choked up, aren't you? You're thinking about that steel cage and how you might be involved in that and maybe get your head raked across the outside of that steel cage by Jason.
Whoa, no one said anything about that to me.
Here we go. He's got to pull him out of that turnbuckle one more time. Drops the head into the lower midsection. And he's going to go over to the opposite corner, and Romeo's going to give him 1-4. And what a partner Romeo Bliss is. This guy right here, I couldn't ask for a better tag team partner for Rick Michaels than Romeo Bliss. He has showed his true colors, and they are red and black.
Well, Steve, I hate to brag it to you, but I heard earlier tonight when Romeo was in the ring doing an interview, what did he say? He said he was Romeo Bliss first, then he was NCW. You notice when you brought Chris Champion out here, Chris and Rick were all hugging, all buddy-buddy with you, talking on the microphone. Romeo Bliss walked over to the corner by himself. I smell a rat. I don't.
Surely not. Romeo Bliss.
If you think you can trust Romeo Bliss, then by all means go right ahead.
To the lower midsection of that knee.
I know something you don't.
What does that mean, Al?
Nothing. Anyway, back to the match. Ashley Hudson here in the corner, trying to get back up to his feet after that low blow, which, look at that, Chris Champion hugging Rick Michaels after he saw that blatant low blow. You called up Wildside Chris Champion. I know he and Rick spent some time together over in England when they went overseas for that tour for NWA UK Hammerlock. And now you've brought in a blatantly biased official for this important matchup with the company, the pride of the company, and the name of the company on the line.
Are you saying I stacked the deck?
Yeah, you stacked the deck.
You're damn right I did. Here we go.
You know what?
Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss. And let me say this about Romeo. Yes, he was a lowlife about 3 months ago, but he has showed me that he is NCW through and through, and I believe he's 100% NCW.
New South Behrens leaving. Yeah, but you know what? I remember about 7-8 months ago, Steve, you were saying the same exact thing about me, that I changed. And guess what? I fooled you. I had you in the palm of my hand. I set you up.
Well, I'm getting a little bit worried now since Al Getz reminded me of that incident as he turned his back on JC Daz. And that shocked the world right here at the NCW Arena. But tonight, JC Daz is going to have his revenge.
Oh, come on!
He's showing he's got authority here in the ring. Inside the squared circle, the law and order is Wildside Chris Champion.
Bill getting Chris Champion's face.
That's a bad idea.
Chris knows not to lay a hand on the VP of the NWA.
Yeah, it is a little bit frustrating with that rank he holds, and plus he's got me by the you-know-what with the syndication deal.
The what?
The NADS, home video, we can say it. But, you know, that's why I brought Chris Champion in, because I know he's 100% behind me and Rick Michaels and NCW, because he's a lifelong friend. I mean, I've known this guy ever since back in his day at WCW.
Chris Champion, a 13-year veteran of professional wrestling, wrestled for the NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, as one half of the New Breed. Also formed a successful tag team out of the Florida area and throughout Memphis, Nashville, Tennessee as Wildside. And that's where he got the name Wildside Chris Champion. And here he is in Wildside. So if there's any question what side he's on, we know.
And Bill Behrens showing his frustration here at ringside. And Romeo Bliss has yet to be tagged in. And if I'm not mistaken, that goes for Ashley.
Well, Ashley started off the match, and now Kory's going to see his first legal action in the ring. You know what? I'm sorry. I was a little flustered earlier. See, my assistant, Chet, I told him to bring me some water. Instead, he brings me a Coke. You know, I'm trying to get in shape. I need lots of water. I don't like the sugar and caffeine in this Coke stuff. I'm all hopped up on caffeine now. That's why I'm going crazy.
There we go with a big shot to the side of the head. And New South.
There's one for Ashley Hudson, too.
Ashley Hudson inside the squared circle here. And Chris Champion going to let this thing go on.
Yeah, Romeo's in the ring, too, and Champion doesn't even care. There we go.
Oh, hard into the head. Here comes Michaels with a big hard elbow. And Chris Champion is letting this thing go. Romeo Bliss with a knee to the chest.
This is ridiculous, Steve.
You know, Romeo says he's so pretty. We got a close 3 right there.
Yeah. Who's the mark in the ring if he's calling himself pretty?
And the fans are loving this matchup here at Hardcore Hell 2000.
I can't hear myself talk. We got headsets. I can't hear a word you're saying. These people are just going nuts.
It is noisy in here. That is the understatement of the year. And Rick Michaels, has he not become one of the top athletes here on Wildside, if not one of the top wrestlers in the United States? This guy is known everywhere we go, and he gets fan mail from literally all over the United States.
He doesn't get anything from Jasper, Indiana, though.
Yeah, that's
I'll
your
tell you
time.
what, you've got in Bad Attitude in the New South, you've got 2 teams that are ranked in the Woo Top 50. But now with this makeshift team of Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss, we'll see what happens.
Fans, I got to excuse myself if I'm coughing a little bit, but this pollen in the air is absolutely unbelievable here in the South.
That's why I love the clean, fresh, beautiful air we have up in New York City, unlike the smog and soot and filth you have here in Georgia.
Come on, Al.
Hate coming down here. Can't wait to get back up north.
Yeah, you're playing Lee's tonight.
April 26th, Leesport, Pennsylvania, the Leesport Family and Fun Center. Al Getz debuts with Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling. May 12th, Reading, Pennsylvania. April 14th, 15th, New Jersey. May 19th, 20th, Florida. I'm all over the place. What is this?
I guess I've never said you're not one of the top managers in the world. I mean, you manage some of the best talent they are, and Scotty Wren is right up there with any of these guys. And I'll tell you one thing.
I was looking at that dirt sheet you're selling out front, the NCW clothesline. Scotty Wren is the number 2 contender for the Wildside heavyweight title. We talked earlier, he's practically undefeated for the last 6 months. He hasn't gotten a title shot yet. I'll tell you, I'm going to talk to Bill Behrens, and I know he'll be in a good mood after this match because I know the New South's going to win, and we're going to get some title shots. Scotty Wren, we're going to prove he's one of the best because he's going to be holding some gold before too long.
And you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. Scotty Wren, one of the top athletes they are. Look at Chris Champion over here for this fast count. He's got one.
Oh, come on!
He's got... that's it. Man, that was a fast count.
Does he even have a referee's license?
Look at the referee uniform.
What referee uniform? Looks like a
schoolboy. We got 1 or 2 now.
Hey, and Rick Michaels has done more schoolboys than Burt Prentice, so he knows that move.
Bill Behrens over here pitching a fit. And let me say this, I'm not going to take anything away from
He looks like the Gimp in Pulp Fiction. That's not a referee uniform. That's some sort of S&M stuff.
When Bill Behrens brought in New South, I was a little bit nervous because this is one of the top tag teams in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And they are here at Hardcore 2000 representing the good old NWA. Over 50 years of tradition. Have we not heard that enough?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you got a great team. You got Ashley Hudson from Australia, Kory Williams from Tennessee. A great team.
Have come here to whine, pound, and suck on Bill Behrens. But what we came to do is kick you through CC's ass. Now stop whining and let's do it.
You got to agree with that. Rick Michaels saying he's here to take care of business, and they're over here whining and pouting. And we've got this fine official named Chris Champion in the ring. I mean, you know, the odds could not be more fair for NCW and NWA.
Yeah, no, for NCW.
Here we go. He's up and over goes Michaels. Nice leapfrog, turns around, blocks the hip toss, follows it up with one of his own. Nice arm drag takeover by Michaels. Follows it up with a Japanese arm drag, and New South going to paddle to the outside. So here comes Ashley with a big scoop slam by Romeo Bliss.
What's Romeo doing? He's not even the legal. Hey! Oh, come on. That was a fast count by Chris Champion.
It looks great to me. They're over here arguing about the count, but I thought it was fine.
No, it wasn't fine. Yeah, that's what he should do. See? This guy, Bill Behrens, has to tell him how to referee. Yes!
Well, he's got it.
Good.
And the match continues here at Hardcore Hell 2000 as all the marbles are on the line. And this is about colors. This is about pride. This is about a federation named NCW versus NWA. And I love the NCW banner here hanging at ringside. And yes, I had something to do with that.
The classic. Here we go. Here we go. Count it. Come on.
We got one. We got two. Man, that was a fast count.
Oh, shut up.
Are we going to schoolboy one more time on Ashley Hudson?
Oh, man.
Chris Champion is showing his authority here at Hardcore Hell 2000. And New South going to paddle to the outside. He's got the boomerang into play. Disqualifying.
Why? He hasn't used it. He's just showing it to Chris.
And here he comes back out to the outside.
You know, you talk about the battle of NCW versus NWA. It's the classic David versus Goliath. You've got the NWA over 50 years recognized across the world. And then you got NCW recognized by a couple hundred people in Habersham County, Georgia. David versus Goliath all the way.
It is David versus Goliath, and I've said it time and time again. I had gone as far as I could, and that's why I brought the NWA aboard. I mean, they made the offer, and I accepted, and the next thing I know, Bill Behrens, the vice president, along with that Howard Brody guy, are trying to take over.
As well they should, because they're the ones responsible for it. But you know what? Unlike the real David versus Goliath, this time Goliath's going to win NWA all the way.
And let me say this, too. Even Wild Magazine was siding with me on the issue of Bill Behrens sticking his nose where it doesn't belong because he is vice president. He's not a manager.
Well, first off, I wouldn't put any stock in anything written in that Wow magazine. That Bill Apter, he's a loon. He so desperately wants to be one of the boys.
Bill Apter's a fine individual.
He'll say whatever you tell him to.
Here we go.
You catch segments on TV, those things are horrible.
Here we go.
They should give me a segment.
Ashley Hudson going to send Romeo Bliss for the ride. This reverse out of that turnbuckle with a nice hip toss by Romeo Bliss. Nice arm drag takeover. Back up to the vertical base. An arm drag takeover on Kory Macklin. Going to turn around.
Kory Williams, not Kory Macklin. That's another guy. Going for the cover. 2.
My mistake. My bad.
Oh. Kory just backed into something you don't want to be backing up into. But Romeo Bliss, you know, he does all the talking and all the shucking and jiving when it gets down to it in the ring. There's no denying his talent and his ability. But really, he has very little experience. Oh, no.
Here we go as Romeo Bliss has the flag.
Oh, man.
You got to love that. Chris Champion in to break this situation up with this boomerang. He's trying to cheat. It's obvious to everybody.
Well, as I was saying before, Romeo Bliss does not have very much experience as a tag team wrestler, and the team of Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss has 0 experience. When you factor that in with the comments and the things that we've seen earlier tonight by Romeo, I smell trouble. All right.
Bill Behrens, the flag bearer here.
If these guys wanted to know, that's you're thinking of Jack Victory. Who? Flag bearer. Whatever happened to him? I haven't seen him with a reputable wrestling promotion since WCW.
Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss are definitely fan favorites here, and I believe the audience is pro NCW, and that's the understatement.
Gee, you think? How'd you get that banner up there?
Well, I didn't hang it. I'll tell you that.
Well, now where are they going? That's it. Count them out.
I think they're going to leave, too.
Oh, no.
Rick Michaels and Romeo Bliss are going up top here. Kory Williams and Ashley Hudson are upset, needless to say.
Yeah, let's see. Ashley's telling Chris Champion he needs to count him out.
Kory Williams back in, along with Ashley Hudson, and the most honest official I've ever met.
I'm going to tell Jamie Tucker you said that.
Jamie, my boy, but he's on his way to WCW.
To step down.
In my opinion, the best official we ever had was Jamie Tucker. No offense to Jimmy Rivers, because he's one hell of a referee, but since he's aligned with the NWA, then, you know, he's been trouble since day one. Because he's in Behrens' pocket just like you are.
I can't fit in Behrens' pocket. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. From what I hear, that big lake house he's got, he must have pretty deep pockets.
Yeah, but they're filled with $100 bills, so, you know, there's no room in there. There we go. Ashley's got Romeo backed up. There we go. Good.
Finally, I believe we've got some wrestling going on here as the Irish whips across, up and up. Oh, he's caught in the back. Kory Williams caught him in the back with that flag.
Good. Oh, come on, turn around.
Big stomp to the chest by Ashley Hudson. And like I said, I'm not going to take anything away from these guys. I mean, they're a hell of an athlete.
You're trying to take away the company from them. That's what you're trying to take away from them.
They've never had it. And they will not have it.
We will have it after tonight. There we go. There we go. Good, good, good. Yeah, hold him, Bill. Hold him.
Oh, come on, Behrens. 3-on-1 situation, and Chris Champion over here to break this situation up because he sees what's going on here. Cheating at his best.
Hey, they got a 5 count to break it up.
And that's exactly the reason I took Jimmy Rivers out of this matchup and put Chris Champion in, where he could call this matchup fair and square.
Kory Williams, trained by Sir Mo, formerly of Men on a Mission. And Ashley Hudson, trained by out at Slammers Wrestling Gym in Studio City, California, by legendary Vern Langdon. They've been teaming together now for about a year and a half. 3-time NWA North American Tag Team Champs.
Nice move by Williams, going for the count. And we got 2 3/4. One more time.
Yeah, very slow 2 3/4, if you ask me.
Rick Michaels going to come in and try to break this situation up.
Choking him with the boomerang now.
Come on, Behrens.
Choking him, got him with the boomerang, hit him with the tennis racket.
I'd like to take that tennis racket and shove it where the sun don't shine. An NWA tennis racket. And he says it's courtesy of Jim Cornette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jim's a big fan of the program and loves what Bill's been doing.
Here we go, the tag in.
As a token of his appreciation.
Nice leg drop by Ashley Hudson. And let me tell you, this group, they move like a well-oiled machine when they get on their game. Chris Champion going to push him back one more time. And see, he's calling it fair and square.
Yeah, sure, he's calling it fair and square. Except when it comes to counting pinfalls, he counts it real fast for them and real slow for us. Oh, come on! What, you couldn't find Nick Patrick? You couldn't find Charles Robinson, so you had to bring this guy in?
Going for the cradle, and we got 2. Should have been 3. It's a little slow count out there. Nice clothesline by Ashley Hudson, 1/2 of New South.
Romeo Bliss in big trouble now on the mat. Unable to get up, and Ashley goes right back to work, covers him for the fall.
And there's so many things in this situation right here, I guess, because, you know, the Rock and Roll Express come in and totally stole the NCW tag team titles, the Wildside titles, if you will. And now we brought in New South, which is the NWA North American Tag Team Champions. And the Rock and Roll Express is overseas defending my belts.
Yep.
So go figure that. I mean, this thing has just been bought and paid for since day one, and that's why Chris Champion is here.
And you know what? They're defending those titles against nothing but the best competition in the NWA. You know who they're defending them against? The Bushwhackers.
Oh, boy.
What?
You know how I'm a fan of that old school wrestling.
Hey.
Going for the cover.
Another slow count by Chris Champion, but at this point, I don't even need to say that because you all see what's going on.
But I will say this, you know, not to make fun of old school wrestling, because let me tell you something. Guys like Wahoo McDaniels and Ivan Koloff and the Bushwhackers and all the other guys that was around during that day, they're the reason we're here. It's just come to a new level where the athletes are a little bit more risk takers and will do whatever it takes to score the pinfall. And now, just to educate the fans, I believe it's because the money in pro wrestling has gone to astronomical figures.
Oh, without a doubt, and we all know that wrestlers are just whores and will do whatever it takes for a payoff. But, I mean, really, to make it to that next level, you have to risk life and limb. Double DDT by Romeo Bliss. He desperately needs a tag, though.
I didn't want to say that.
The crowd getting behind him. He needs to get up and find Rick Michaels and make that tag. Is he going to do it? Kory Williams up to his feet. Ashley up on his knees. Kory's up on his feet. He's ready.
Here's the tag to Rick Michaels. He is in and all over New South like a bad dream. As Ashley Hudson goes down, along with Kory Williams. And New South is in trouble here at the hands of the original chosen one, Rick Michaels. Hard elbow by Michaels.
Michaels now a house of fire, taking on both members of the New South. Here's Romeo in. Romeo's in. Takes Ashley Hudson out to the floor. Bill Behrens gets out of the way. Inside the ring, Kory Williams reverses it. Meets a big boot. Face first from Rick Michaels. Michaels goes for the elbow. No one home. No one home from Kory. Goes for the super kick. Kory grabs the leg. Oh, super kick by Rick Michaels.
There
and Kory
it is.
Williams is down.
And he's got him beat. Rick Michaels has got him beat. Kory Williams is down. Romeo Bliss and Ashley Hudson is over here battling at the ring entrance at Hardcore Hell 2000. And my man, Chris Champion, is tied up with Bill Behrens. Behrens is always in the way.
Hey, Rick Michaels did that about 20 times earlier in the match. Turnabout's fair play. Here we go. Michaels going up. We've seen him do this many times. He's defeated many an opponent with this. The front splash.
He's got him. Come on, Champion, turn around. Turn around. He's got him beat. Oh, and Romeo Bliss hit that steel, and I mean hard. And I mean, he got busted. What the hell? What the hell? He just sprayed something in the eyes of Rick Michaels and Chris Champion. He just dropped him face first.
Beautiful.
Throws him over. We got two. Oh, come on.
There's your stacked deck, Steve Martin. There's your stacked deck. This building is now NWA country. Ha 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 ha.
Fans, I'm speechless.
You talked about stacking the deck, putting odds in your favor. They just jumped up and bit you on the ass, Steve. Romeo bleeding on the floor.
Romeo Bliss has been busted wide open. And I mean, fans, this guy might need help. And I don't want to take nothing away from this lowlife in the ring. Now, look at this, an NWA shirt. This thing has been bought and paid for by Behrens.
Damn straight it has. There's no denying it, no need to cover it up. You just hit the nail right on the head.
I'm so sick of hearing the NWA. It looks like I'm going to be hearing it a lot more, Al.
You, Mr. Owner of this building. Hey, Mr. So-called owner of this building, Mr. in charge of NCW, we just won this match. First order of business, pull that cock-sucking NCW damn brother down.
I am very concerned about Romeo Bliss.
You want that NCW banner down? I need a rag to dry my car off with when I get done washing it. That's right. Pull that NCW bag down.
Fans, we might need a
There we go, first aid coming.
The New South came into NCW territory and took over. Therefore, me mate and I are first in line for a World Tag Team Belt shot. Let me tell you something, Rick Michaels. Hey, Rick, I got something to say. Don't go away yet, boy. First of all, your house was a dump. The bed was uncomfortable. The food was horrible. It was too damn hot. The dogs barked too loud. And the sewer's tank stunk too bad outside. Right here, NWA Wildside, Georgia. I cut my teeth in this territory, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna let a bush leaguer like you, a Mesozoic like you, come out here and try to take this fine organization run by this gentleman here, Bill Behrens, one of the greatest managers, greatest minds in the business. I give you the president of the NWA, Bill Behrens.
Now I'm going to go check on Romeo Bliss.
Vice President now, but I'll be President soon. With your support, welcome to NWA Wildside.
That's right, Bill.
And these are your North American champions, and it's a pleasure. Chris Champion. We'll be back in just a moment. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the show. I know we're gonna. Bye, everybody. Oh, somebody better get Romeo Bliss some medical attention.
What a glorious moment. What a glorious moment it is, as finally, once and for all, it's been settled, and this building is now NWA territory.
You sit your big fat ass down and put this building over. Hey, why don't you go buy some more peroxide, you bleach blonde bitch? Sit down, you fat hammer cut. Sit your ass down. Your mother's a nigga, your daddy's a nigga too, fat bitch.